Friends, this is Rafi and I'm recording this my very first video for the second week of July that starts from 8th of July, that's tomorrow. And as the copper charts daily, it shows a bullish butterfly pattern, and the levels can be seen over here, 3.26 to 3.45, and the stop loss can be at 2.97. Been watching this for a while. I could see this area where it formed a triangle pattern, or also called as triple bottom, and where the targets were observed somewhere in here around 3.09, and again it seems to form a bullish pattern where with the stop loss of 2.97 can be seen for the targets of 3.2 and 3.26 and 3.45. And it's the same copper daily also gives me a wolf wave pattern with a point to 1 over here, and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 over here, and this volume spike gives me a confirmation of 0.5. That's how I count wolf waves. Actually, 0.5 is where I get the highest volume peak with a decreasing precedence in the further volume. So I initiated a trade after the break of this trend line somewhere in here, that's 3.06, and a stop loss of somewhere in here, 2.96, and targets of 3.215, and the further targets can be observed over here and 3.3. Let's wait and see. And yeah, crude has been pretty much interesting, and I've been observing a lot of inverse head and shoulder patterns. One was here, which occurred somewhere in April, and the second week or third week of April was like forming the head, and the pattern was complete around the end of April, somewhere in here. And I was actually looking for the breakout and even posted on Facebook about this. Any break of this head and shoulder pattern, inverse head and shoulder pattern, will result to the levels of 103 and 104, and it's pretty much close in there. If we take the extension of Fibonacci levels from around 98.7 to somewhere in here 91.2, so projected a 161.8 Fibonacci extension gives a target of 103.60, which even is the target of our inner head and shoulder pattern too. And this is gold. Gold has been a bearish, purely bearish for a couple of weeks for now, and it has dropped all the way from 1500, 1600 to 1190 low was a pretty good low actually. 1207, sorry. So this on an hourly chart, gold forms a bullish Gatla pattern, and I can even see the volume spike. I look for this moreover because it indicates me a kind of trend reversal sign, but I don't solely depend on it. So the trade was initiated in here when it crossed these three small candles in here was 12, 17, 12, 18 region, and the targets can be at 1240, which is the Gartley's 61.8 percentage, and the stop loss is in here 1207. I usually take the trades which are in the risk to reward ratio of 1:3. I'm risking in here close to $10-12, and my targets are like 1216 to 1242 is like close to 2.5 times of what I'm risking. So this is what I see. It's a pretty good target, should be. And the same gold on daily charts also gives me a kind of wolf wave pattern, but I'm not sure about this. The only thing is which is clicking is I can see a volume spike in here with a decrease in further precedence, and again I can see a volume spike in here which is further decreases in precedence, and when I could see the volume spike in here, so the price is like it didn't turn actually. The price reversal wasn't happening, and I could see this and a further drop in the prices to the levels of 1172 on the gold daily charts. And I can see a kind of double bottom or W pattern in here, like 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I would initiate the trade only after 1268 on the daily charts, with the stop loss around in this region 1180, for the targets of 1400 to 1460, which is the wolf wave. On the daily chart, I wouldn't, for a swing position, I wouldn't initiate the buy unless it crosses this 1268 point. And natural gas. Natural gas is pretty much it did what we were expecting it. Actually, a few days ago, it was forming an head and shoulder pattern. Well, what I posted on the Facebook. It's a neckline resistance in here. Sorry, neckline support line was in here, and when it broke and it retested, and I pretty much paid my trade in here with the stop loss, with the tiny stop loss, and the profits ran like anything, and I collected my profit somewhere in this 3.5 and 3.6 region, 3.55 and 5.6 region. It's again trying to form a bullish cartlet pattern. Targets can be expected somewhere in here 4.019 and 3.922, and the stop loss can be 3.5 to 3.444525, somewhere in here. So, and the natural gas at daily charts shows me that it's forming a wolf wave pattern. As a point 1 is in here, 2 or 3 is in here, 4 is in here, and 5. The increase in volume and the further decrease, and the stop loss can be maintained in here, and the price has to cross the previous swing high. So the trade can be initiated somewhere in this region around 3.705, for the targets of 3.985, with the stop loss of 3.45, which is close to 1:2.5 ratio. This is not at all bad, if it holds any good, if it crosses this line. And silver. Silver on the daily chart had formed earlier a pole, inverse pole and flag pattern. Can you see the pole in here? This blue line, and this triangle is actually a flag. This is inverted pole and flag pattern, and the break of this and the retest of this white candle shows a real breakout. Actually, whenever a price breaks a major trend line, it always tends to uh, bounce back and retest it to show its authenticity. That's the real nature of a price action pattern is. So in here, place the trade, and which was the target should be like at the height of consider the pole, and the targets for like pretty much collected in here, this region 18.5 and somewhere in 17.8. And the silver daily chart also shows me something else. Yeah, the silver daily chart also gives me can you see these lines converging? It's a wolf web pattern, and I could see the volume spikes in here and here. That's what is making me think more logical into the gold and silver. That earlier it had like on June 20th, it had volume spikes, like heavy selling pressure I could see, and I could also see the last week of June where more selling pressure. So this is kind of controversy. Actually, in order to for a bullish wave to trigger its target, so the volume should be decreased with a spike, starting with a spike. So this spike and its volume is decreasing in here. So this kind of I anticipate that gold is trying to form a double bottom. So if it is any good, if this holds a region of double bottom and crosses this 19.85 region, and this my stop loss would be somewhere in this region 17.9, and the targets will be in this region 22.78 and 23.56, and the next target, if it is any good, that would be trailing my stop loss to my entry point, and it would be collecting my target somewhere in 24.36. I guess it takes some time, but those are our targets for now. And S&P, yeah, many have I'm getting emails that your views over S&P and stuff, so this is for them. So S&P on a daily chart has formed a bullish bad pattern. So this bad pattern is 100% can be seen as 1649 and 1648 region. 1648 and 1649 can see a pretty much crucial level. It's if you can see over here, so the support in here is 1648 to 1650 region. The support in here is 1648 to 50 region. The support in here is 1648, 1648.50 or 1648.50. So this, if you consider in the past May to June, this level has been pretty significant in S&P's price action. So I already initiated this trade with the stop loss of somewhere in here, and trade was initiated in here with the stop loss of this once it opened up above this candle, so where it had a major volume spike and further decrease. We can see this in another chart where I got a major wolf wave and S&P. This in here. So this is 0.1 of wolf wave, and this is 2, and this is 3, and this is 4, and this is 5. And here I can see a pretty good volume spike on June 24th. It was like last week or 2 weeks ago. So in here, so I was pretty much concerned about the volume for the next day, and it significantly dropped, but the price, I couldn't see much increase in price. The very next day, when the candle double bottom has been formed and increase in the price, after the break of this trend line, I placed my trade. So buy trade in here. So my stop loss will be somewhere in 1550 and 1560 region, and a trade was executed in 1575 region, and my targets or initial targets will be 1648. If it is any good at 1648 to 1650 region, so we can see a pretty good targets of 1680 and further. So this is a perfect saucer kind of shape in the volume. If you guys in here, this is pretty good. So that's everything for today, guys, and see you next week. Thank you.